Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time once again for me to bring you another FIFA 17 ratings predictions video. And today we of course have got Liverpool, my team, the club that I support, but I'm going to set aside any bias or lack of bias in some players' instances for today and actually give a realistic sort of prediction. I'm also going to try and tweak the potential so they're more realistic to the game, and also make sure that players I'm including players that actually play for the club still, as opposed to players who were playing for the team in January but not anymore. So I've tried to make sure that I've done some more research as well for today's video. If you do go on to enjoy it though, feel free to hit the likes button and subscribe if you are new around here as well. As was mentioned in the intro, you can win yourself a copy of FIFA 17. You could either click on the screen for the intro or check the link in the description and find out how you can win a copy of FIFA 17 from myself and a few friends as well. But yeah, today, Liverpool 8th in the league. For those who are wanting Southampton, I promise they will be next. Despite beating West Ham and Liverpool in the league, I will move on to Southampton in about 5 or 6 days. You guys don't know the drill by now. We're going to go through some of the starting 11 Liverpool players who played the majority of the season, then go through some of the new transfers and also some of the younger and substitute players perhaps of Liverpool, maybe the squad depth players, and then in the middle I will also compare how the squad looks as I predicted it in comparison to how the squad looked at the start of FIFA 16. All the ratings in terms of growth and the graphics that you'll see on the screen, the growth is from the start to FIFA, not from any January updates or upgrades, that they may have got. Nevertheless, it is now time to get straight on into the predictions, and first of all, with the goalkeeper. And although we have signed a new goalkeeper, MILNER was the man who played the majority of last season and played it pretty poorly. He did have some very good games. I remember him seeming to play very well against Manchester City, I think it was, in the Capital One Cup final. Apart from that, unfortunately, he made quite a lot of mistakes and also didn't make too many saves. It wasn't like he was making mistakes and then also making amazing saves. He just was making mistakes, and that was kind of it. So hence, I've given him a downgrade from 78 to 77. Now, realistically, 78 after his performance last season, or the season before the one we just had, was quite harsh in the first place. But I can't give him an upgrade just because I think he's better than 77. I've got to downgrade him based on how poor he was this season. So I've left him at, well, I've downgraded him at 77. I've left his potential though at 78 because he's not the oldest of goalkeepers, so he may gain 1 or 2 perhaps in career mode back. But yeah, 77 overall, downgrade of 1, and potential of 78 for the first of the players in this video, the goalkeeper, MILNER. After that though, Nathaniel Klein. He's performed pretty well this season. I don't think, from my personal perspective as someone who supports the club, wouldn't say he performed well enough to earn an upgrade, because 81 is a very solid overall for a player like Nathaniel Klein anyway. Giving him 83 potential, which I think is what he has on FIFA 16 as well. Of course, he was 81 at the start of FIFA 16. He has had a very solid season, not quite up to the heights of the peak of his powers perhaps at Southampton, but a pretty decent season nonetheless, and he played very well in the Euros game that he did play in. I've given him 81 overall, then kept him the same, and given him a potential of 83. After that, we have the first of the centre-backs, and this might be one that you scratch your heads at, given maybe some of you aren't Liverpool fans. And this is Dejan Lovren, who was getting a lot of stick before this season that we've just had. But actually, in the second half of the season, he was by far our best centre-back, arguably our best centre-back. He was really, really good, and it was getting to the point where if we weren't playing, we were actually losing games. And so I've given him an upgrade from 79 to 80, so that's +1 from the start of FIFA 16, and then the potential to grow by 1 more in career mode as well, because he's not exactly the oldest of players, so he could grow by 1 or 2 in career mode. So a +1 upgrade then for Dejan Lovren, who did perform very, very well. As a Liverpool fan, I did notice it towards the second half of the season. After that is his centre-back partner, and that's Mamadou Sakho, who was 81 at the start of FIFA 16. I've also given him an upgrade as well to 82. Now, I'm not actually massively sure whether Mamadou Sakho will be on FIFA 17. Certainly Ultimate Team-wise at the start, because of this whole the failed drugs test. I'm sure it was by accident. He seems like the kind of guy that wouldn't do, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who'd do it on purpose, but I'm not actually sure whether this guy will be on FIFA at the start. I'm not overly sure, but I've given him a +1 upgrade anyway, because he was very solid throughout the whole season. Did get overshadowed by Lovren, in my opinion, towards the end, but was very solid at the start. More so than I was expecting, because he looks very, very bad on the ball. He looks like Bambi on ice on the ball, but he never seems to give it away. He looks as if he's always going to give it away, but he never actually does. So I've given him a +1 upgrade because his defensive performance has been very good as well. And also, like Lovren, the potential to grow by 1 more in career mode as well, because I think they're around about the same age. So 83 potential in career mode and 82 as a starting overall. After that is someone I was not so generous with, and this is Alberto Moreno, and someone who I find very, very frustrating as a player, mainly because he's completely playing in his wrong position. I really hope for the future of his career he changes to being a winger, because he cannot defend for if his life depended on it. Why he's a left back, I don't know, hence I've given him a massive downgrade on his defensive stats, because he's very, very poor defensively. I've given him a -2 downgrade for having a pretty appalling season, summed up by that Europa League final performance against Sevilla. He was 79 at the start of FIFA 16, so I've downgraded him by 2 to 77. Still the potential to get into the 80s though in career mode because he's still pretty young. 81 potential there despite the -2 downgrade. After that though, it's Emre Can, someone who has been pretty solid this season. He was 75 at the start of FIFA 16. I've given him +3 to 78 and the potential of 85. He's a very, very promising player, we all know that. Whether he's as promising as the likes of Joshua Kimmich is debatable, but Emre Can did perform pretty well last season. I haven't gone over the top because EA are unlikely to give him like +4 or +5 after one good season, but +3 as an upgrade is still pretty good to 78, and then obviously remaining with that high potential that he has on FIFA 16. So +3 for Emre Can after a pretty good season. After that is Jordan Henderson, someone that I've left the same, did toy with the idea of downgrading him, but actually, this is the logic I used, okay? Given that he's been a cover star for EA before, I found it very unlikely that they would actually downgrade him after the season that he's had. He's had more of an anonymous season rather than a bad season. Jordan Henderson, when Luis Suarez was at the club, was fantastic, but this season, or the season that we've just had, he was a little bit more anonymous, struggled with quite a few injuries, was pretty poor in the Euros when he played, which is a bit of a shame, but I've left him the same, just giving him the benefit of the doubt because of those injury worries, like I did with Jack Wilshere for Arsenal as well. Left him though with a potential of 81, which is the same potential that he has on FIFA 16. And then finally, the final central midfielder is James Milner. This is another head scratcher for some of you, but James Milner, I've given a +1 upgrade from 80 to 81. For those who are wondering, Niran, what the hell, James Milner is an average player, this guy got the most assists in the whole of the Barclays Premier League in the second half of the season. How are you going to tell me that does not deserve an upgrade? Statistically, he deserves an upgrade. Whether his performances really show that or not, I think he's been pretty good. There were a few games where he's pretty poor in the second half of the season, but you can't argue with getting like 11 or 12 assists in the BPL in the final 18 games of the season. That's a very impressive record. Hence, I've given him the upgrade from 80 to 81, and the potential to stay the same at 81 as well in career mode, given that he's in his 30s. After that, we move on to the front line, and then we'll sort out the comparison with the rest of the squad and also the younger players as well. We've got Roberto Firmino, first of all, who was 82 at the start of FIFA 16. I've given him +1 to 83. He was very inconsistent really in the first third of the season, but then that City game came along, and since then he's been racking up goals and assists like it's absolutely nobody's business. I know, because he was in my fantasy football team for the majority of the season. So I've given him +1 from 82 to 83, the potential of 86 as well, because I do believe that's the potential that he has on FIFA 16, and he's certainly lower 20s. So I've given Roberto Firmino then +1 to 83 and potential of 86. Then we've got Daniel Sturridge, the out-and-out striker, I suppose, of this predictions video so far. I've left him at 83 because he's had injury concerns, and even when he came back, he didn't really look himself. He looked sharp for one game, I think it was against West Ham when he came on as a substitute, but apart from that, he was kind of average, really, a bit anonymous, really, as you would expect, having had so many injury concerns. I've not seen enough from him to say that he warrants an upgrade or a downgrade, so I've left him at 83 with the potential of 85. And then finally, in terms of the starting 11, we've got Felipe Coutinho, who was 84 in FIFA 16. I've actually left him at 84. Some of you guys might be thinking I was going to upgrade him to 85. I've left him at 84. By the way, I'm sure he'll get an attacking mid-card, but just for the purpose of this video, I've given him left wing, because that's where he's been playing for the majority of the season. I have given him 87 potential, but I've left him at 84, as I said, just because I don't think it has been his best season. He's had a very good season, but it's not been the best season that he's had since he's joined Liverpool. I would actually say Firmino, in certain parts of the season, was completely outshadowing Felipe Coutinho in terms of performance. But anyway, after that, as you can see in the background, we're now looking at the squad as it was predicted by myself in this video. Once again, if you've got any qualms or any disagreements, then drop it in the comment section nicely, without any sort of like abuse or anything. Just say what you think. in the comments section, and I'll be sure to take that on board. Now that you're seeing the comparison with the squad as it was at the start of FIFA 16, the main downgrades really being for Mignolet and Moreno, but some big upgrades for the likes of Emre Can, and also upgrades for both the centre-backs as well as Firmino, and also James Milner as well. But now it is time to move on to the new signings and also some of the younger players as well. And starting off with a new signing, it is Loris Karius, who was 78 at the start of FIFA 16. He got a Team of the Season, actually, in Ultimate Team for his performances for Mainz in the Bundesliga. So I've given him a +2 upgrade to 80. He did actually get a January upgrade to 79, so I've improved him by +1 from that as well to 80, and given him the potential of 85, which is what he has in career mode on FIFA 16. So a +2 upgrade overall for Karius after a very, very good breakthrough season in the Bundesliga. After that is Danny Ward. Now, for those who don't know, he's a Welsh goalkeeper, basically our third choice goalkeeper realistically now. He's probably overtaken Adam Bogdan. He's Wales' second choice, and he's actually performed very well in the BPL for Liverpool. When Bogdan and Mignolet were going through their bad patch of form, Ward stepped in, had some very good games. He has done as well in the Euros for Wales as well when Wayne Hennessy was injured. So I've given him a +9 upgrade, I think it is, from 58 to 67, and the potential of 79. I haven't quite seen enough to give him a potential of 80, but still a decent potential and a decent upgrade for Danny Ward. After that is another new signing though, and Joel Matip. He was 80 at the start of FIFA 16. He was then given a January upgrade to 81, and I have left him at 81 from that January upgrade, but it does work out as a +1 upgrade from the start of the season, and then 84 potential. Another solid season for Joel Matip in the Bundesliga. Very happy to have signed him. Of course, it was likely to happen given Jurgen Klopp's links with the Bundesliga, but yep, Joel Matip looks like a very solid player. Left him though at 81 from his January upgrade. After that is John Flanagan, who was 72 at the start of FIFA 16. I've given him +2 to 74, so still a silver card, but a potential as well of 81. Been pretty impressed with John Flanagan. If he keeps up his performances, I'm sure he'll get a gold card on the next FIFA, but for now I'm just not quite sure that he's gold level for now. But yeah, 74 +2 then from the start to FIFA 16 after a very solid season for John Flanagan. After that, Joe Gomez, who also had a solid season when he played, but very much interrupted by a massive injury to his knee at the start of the season. He was 64 and a bronze card at the start of FIFA. I've given him a +5 upgrade to 69 and a potential of 82. He signed from Charlton at the start of the season, then damaged his anterior cruciate ligament and was out for quite some time. But when he did play, he looked very good. Not entirely sure whether he'll be a centre-back or a left-back, though I'm sure he'll be able to play both of those positions in career mode. After that is Lucas Leiva, who's been underrated on FIFA for quite some time. Had a very decent season once again, though was starting to get outshadowed by Emre Can. Whether that's a sign for the future, I'm not entirely sure. Though Lucas Leiva has been playing at centre-back quite a lot for Liverpool this season, so I don't know whether he'll get a centre-back card. I'm sure he'll be able to play there in career mode. I've given him +1 from 79 though to 80 after yet another solid season, and the potential to stay at 80 because he's in his late 20s. After that though is Joe Allen, another Welsh player who's performed well at the Euros and performed well this season. Ever since Jurgen Klopp came into Liverpool, this guy has been fantastic. I wanted him sold, to be honest, this time last season, but he's been fantastic this year. Hence, I've given him a +2 upgrade from 77 to 79 and the potential to grow by 2 more in career mode to 81. Solid season for Joe Allen, and hopefully that sort of form continues. After that is Adam Lallana. This is a slightly boring one. I've left him at 80, which was his overall, in FIFA 16, and I've also left his potential at 80 overall as well, so no change really whatsoever for Adam Lallana. After that, there was the final of the new signings at the time that I'm recording this, and it's Sadio Mane, who just signed from Southampton. He was 78 at the start of FIFA 16, having had a pretty good season, but a slightly inconsistent one still at Southampton. I've upgraded him by +1 to 79. Of course, I think he broke the record, didn't he, for the fastest hat-trick in the BPL this season as well, with a 5-minute hat-trick, which is just insane. And I've also given him potential of 84, which is the same as he has in FIFA 16. Jordan Ibe, who was 70 overall at the start of FIFA 16, I've given him a +4 upgrade to 74 after a pretty solid breakthrough season. Jurgen Klopp seems to like him quite a lot. Finally getting that first goal for the club as well. His finishing is pretty poor, but apart from that, his dribbling and pace is pretty decent as well, and he's looked like a pretty promising player this season. So I've given him +4 to 74 and then 82 potential. After that is Christian Benteke, £32 million transfer at the start of the season, but has been pretty damn poor. So a -2 downgrade then for him from 82 to 80 with the potential to grow back to 82 this season. nothing more to say apart from a very disappointing season, apart from that bicycle kick against Manchester United. And the final two players, Danny Ings, who was 75 at the start of FIFA 16, I've given him +3 to 78, despite that horrible knee injury at the start of the season, much like Joe Gomez, unfortunately. Hopefully he comes back better and stronger next season. Also potential of 83, I don't know if I mentioned that, but yep, 78, +3 upgrade and then 83 potential. And then finally, Divock Origi, who was 76 overall at the start of FIFA 16, a +2 upgrade for him to 78 overall and a potential of 85, giving him quite a big boost in terms of physical as well. He looks like quite a powerful and pacey player. And yeah, I've been quite impressed with him. Needs to be a bit more consistent, needs to score some more goals. But I was impressed with that hat-trick that he scored in the Cup against Southampton early on in the season. But nevertheless, that does bring an end to a pretty long episode of this predictions videos. You guys though wanting you guys wanting a lot more people or players involved though in these videos, so I'm quite happy to do that. If you did enjoy, feel free to hit the likes button, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and leave any qualms or disagreements in the comments section as well without trying to argue with each other as well. That would be nice. But nevertheless, it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.